All right, all right, all right. I am here. Whoa, I made it again. Good to see you all. Happy Motivational Monday. It is I, Dr. Chef Felicia Ann Hill, and I am so happy already that I got in, y'all. Okay. Would you all please send a greet? I got a chance. I'm getting a little better at it. Yeah, I'm just happy to be back on this Motivational Monday because I had to miss a few, as you all know, the last 2 weeks, and that's not what I had in mind. Of course, I was able to tune in, I believe, last Monday, but I had a gap there. So if you all don't mind sending the chats, let me know if you're in, because I don't know who's in. I don't know. I got a few different people tuning in. So if you're not driving or working, then please send a message to the chat to let me know that you are well, know who you are. If you choose to be anonymous, then that's fine too. Just preferably, I will be able to share something good with you all on this Motivational Monday to help inspire you to get through the rest of the week, or at least until the next time when I tune in for Wellness Wednesday at between 4 and 5 the same time, Central Standard Time, for you and your family. Maybe then you'll have more health questions and things of that nature. This channel is for us to have those good thought-provoking conversations, talk, chats. And yes, I'll be doing most of the talking. We already know that. If this is the regulars that normally tune in, you all know how I do it. I wanted to make sure. Hey, Sister Jamaica, it's so good to see you. I just wanted to make sure that I tuned back in as well. So God bless where everything just went smooth this time for me, because I know you all different ones that's tuning in now and later that you all were praying for me and my family. We lost another cousin that transitioned. Just in case there's someone that's new that's tuning in, that is what I left off with for Wellness Wednesday. So I wanted to make sure that I tuned in and let you all know that, yes, I made it through the process. And as you all know, that's usually an ongoing thing. We are not a people that are accustomed to losing dear loved ones that's close to us. And this is the field and the ministry that I've been fortunate to, in a lot of ways, to help with, I believe, since the age of 15. And some that will tune in now and later. Thank you all for liking. Please share, subscribe if you haven't, because I know it's open to the public. That helps so that different ones can get the information or to get the notification when I tune in for the channel. I know I'm not trying to look for to have thousands and thousands of people tune in. If that happens, then all praises be to God for that. But if not, then I'm led to believe that those who tune in is the few that God has chosen at this appointed time for me to chat and talk and minister and preferably give some good, healthy ways of thinking and of living as we go on this social media journey. All right. And so, yes, I know I had a lot of questions. How did you make it through? How do you do this? How do you make it through this process of transitioning? So I could start on there. So this is the reason why I titled it "Minding Your Heart." I make it through. One, I do have a very spiritual background. For those who all that's tuning in now, I have to say this. I know Sister Jamaica and different ones that tune in regularly. You all know, but as you know how this works, others will tune in and will share. And people don't know why you do what you do, or what's your motivation on this Motivational Monday to continue to do what you do after you lose loved ones, after you have broken relationships, and when the business gets challenging, or when things are not going perfect. Dr. Felicia, and what keeps you motivated? What keeps you going? And all I know you all hear it from some people. I have to speak for myself because I get asked the question. We don't know. First, I get the statement, we don't know how you do it. And then I get, how do you do it? And I always point up, I do just like this. Or either I tell them, God, there's a God somewhere. I believe that if I was never ever raised in the church, if I never came from ministers and missionaries, that I would still have a connection with God, because that's just part of my makeup. It's the way my mind have thought, even when growing up, seeing the challenging things that has taken place, born and raised in East St. Louis, Illinois, where I saw a lot. I saw a lot, but was kept from the streets because my mother, as you all know, and my aunts and uncles and family and friends, they were all in the church. All in the church. So we had to be heavily involved into the ministry. It wasn't no shucking and jiving around about it. That was a must. You had to attend, and through those that foundation, even though it wasn't perfect, still growing up in this type of environment, it helped us to understand and to learn the importance of community, treating others as you would like to be treated, being a positive influence on the people, whether they believed in what you believed in or not. At least that's what I learned from my family, coming up, and even some of the brothers and the sisters in the organization and in the congregation that I was a part of. And to this day, I still have a beautiful relationship. I'm thankful to say, because many can't say that. Trust me, I know. I've been doing this ministry and counseling thing for quite some time now. I've already hit past my 30-year mark now, professionally, spiritually, and just on the side, and business wise now. Ah, and I know that that has not been everybody's experience, but it's also the reason why I believe that I am held accountable. Well, thank you so much, Sister Felicia. Thank you so much. You guys can start it early. Thank you so much for the cash app. Thank you so much. Um, and as you all know, when you send in for donations to me, I support organizations such as for disabled children of my own, because as you can imagine, I have people to call in all the time or to email in needing help. A lot of them are on fixed income, and they really can't afford. And I mean these that are really doing their best. I get a chance to examine with knowing so many people or knowing of them and their situations. I get verifications of what's going on. And so when I'm glad to help them to be able to get natural health products, such as the products I have for colon cleanse, they cost $40, but there are some people that are on their health beat, or maybe you have others, and they just decide to send in cash apps and donations. I also place a P.O. box for those who want to send checks and money orders. You do not have to do this in order to tune in to me. I believe that when you say that you do something that you're doing it from the help of God and from the heart, um, that shouldn't be a tremendous stress placed upon the people to give a monetary means. Yes, it does take money to run ministries and businesses, but to each his own. For me, I understand that there has been a lot of people that have been affected by this. Yes, it is slow, and it can be a process, but when you're flourishing, and it's obvious that you're flourishing in this, and you've made it a business, we have to be very careful not to mix business with ministry, not to allow it to get to a place to where it makes you feel like people owe you something for your time, because after all, you don't have a ministry and you don't have a business without the people. And so I try to keep myself in check with that mentality, so that I can stay motivated from the heart and from the right spirit when I come before you all and when I'm not before you all. And this is the reason why you all don't hear me every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes or all throughout the segment saying give, 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 give. Not because I don't have plenty to help and to give, as I can walk 1 minute away from me and I'm addressed with at least 5 homeless people. Um, I had different organizations and many churches that always have a single mother that's struggling. And now 1 out of every 10 families member have a disabled child that's been birthed. They don't know what to do. And a lot of times they don't have the funds to attend. I like to be able to have extra products, health products, to get them started on the way when they want to go the natural way, the original way. And so I believe that through that, God will bless when the time has come, and He's shown me that um, when He just spoke to me, and I believe that when He spoke to me and said, "Give it up, give up the mansion, give up this, give up that I had accumulated with my former mate," I wind up I prayed about it, and I was at peace. And many didn't understand why I didn't fight for anything, or why I didn't. I said, because one, that's a stress. Two, it takes away too much time from what I've been created to do and what I've been doing way before I joined together to work with anybody in this. And I like actually being able to go to sleep with a peace of mind, knowing that I did right by my people, or either just being able to be up and pray and ask God to lead and guide me in how I'm supposed to conduct myself concerning my brothers and sisters. And since I know I'm not perfect, I know you all are not. I know that the time will come when there'll be trial and error. And so I like to have that mercy and that grace on my side, without making people feel like they had to spend an arm and a leg just to be able to hear something good that's been planted in me for free. For free. My mother didn't charge me. My parents didn't charge me to love me. They didn't charge me. No, they had to pay for me being born and birthed here. My godparents did not have to, they didn't charge me to teach me what it was that moral and that was good, and to try to pull the gifts of God that He placed in me out of me. My aunts and uncles didn't charge me. They taught alongside of my parents, and they instructed me in how to do the community that I was raised in. I worked for them, and they paid me for the work that I did for the community, and so on and so on. You all get the drift, as they say. I know it's a term they don't use no more. I just told my age, didn't I? My stage, didn't I? Oh well, we'll get over it. So I just want to I just want to lay that out there, because I know we have so much out here today. Whew, and it is a lot. And I hear things that some probably don't, because of being in this ministry, in this field. Okay, let me get back to the chat. I see y'all filling in now. All right, community. Caribbean American gentleman. Okay, beautiful title. Blessed be the fruit we love. Happy Monday. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. I remember seeing that. Happy Monday, Dr. Shell. CN. What do I remember that name from? Do you mind? If you don't mind letting me know, CN, because I think I've seen that title from somewhere before. And Ninja Kid is in the house. Good afternoon. It's Ninja Kid. No school today, so I decided to join live. Thank you, Ninja Kid. It is so good to see you. To know he's tuning in. So I'll make sure that I keep it PG for you all. I pray school is going well for you, Ninja Kid. That's one of our young supporters there. And seen in a while, his grandmother is most definitely the one and only beautiful and talented and very strong, vivacious, spiritually led mother and G-mom, as we call her today, Sister Jamaica. That is her grandson. You all give a shout out to them. Their family is doing the best that they can to stay on top of. His grandmother is also the one that's writing the book on raising two boys that are autistic. So you all keep them. Hey there, Nira. Good to see you. It's good to see you all. Much love, much love. And so, as you all can imagine, some would probably say, well, Dr. Chef is in there health and wellness. And I've had this long conversation with a cousin of mine. Yes, I had it with several. I had it with my blood brother that's right underneath me, with just 4 years gap there. And my sister in love, because I call his wife my sister in love. My sister, even though it's by law, there's love, so I call them sister in love. And I had it with a cousin, and it's like they didn't want to have to come out and ask me, They just let me know. They know that I'm doing what I do from the heart and they don't view me. It means a lot to hear from your family, especially when you have so many transitioning for the lack of knowledge, especially when they are denying the knowledge, because there is an extra attachment to that scripture. You all, a lot of people like to quote that are in the churches. You all know that our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Myself, I've also quoted that scripture, and that has motivated me to always be in a learning stage, always seeking knowledge, but not to the point to where it drives me crazy, but to the point to where I'm not found guilty of not wanting to learn. um, because I see that we have an adversary, we do have an enemy that don't really believe in life, don't believe in preserving life. That in a lot of ways they have what the new term is the narc syndrome, which is very narcissistic, very God complex mentality. That if you're not of their fold, or if you don't make enough money, or if you are not from their bloodline, that you should not exist, that you are not worthy of being a part of this world, this earth. Man, isn't that something? I know some of you all that's tuning in, you're tuning in like I do. I couldn't imagine having that type of mentality. And I pray, I really do. I pray to God that I never have to have it. And I don't mean that in like the scribes and Pharisees say, I don't want to be like them one, don't hear me not, saying it in a mocking kind of way. I mean that from the heart, because I can only imagine how much of a task that is to know that you've been placed here, or you've been birthed into a family that actually believes that even though you walk, you talk, you got fingers, you got hands, you are a being like me, that you think that you are so much greater than the next person, that you think you have the right, because you got paper money, or because you get a little bit more attention, to deem someone else to hell, or to deem them, to see them not worthy enough to live their own life, to where you're planning, you're using your wealth, you're using your influence to wipe them out, to literally wipe them out. And you are the untouchable at that point. It would take God to have to deal with you and your family. So, what is the fear? My goodness. And so, I feel obligated, always feel obligated to pour back into positive motivation to our people that get this, and you all are seeing what's going on around us, to tell you, don't give up, don't give in. We're going to win. Even if you don't witness it in your lifetime, I encourage us all to have the faith to believe that what you pour into your children, if you have children, or your nieces and your nephews, or maybe you're teaching, you have students, the young or the youth in whatever organization that you might be a part of, or maybe it's just your neighbor's children. Pour into that next generation, not just hope, but a vision that yes, someday I may be going on and you may leave this earth, but pour something into that child. Cause see, that's what happened with me. Before my mother left here, before my father left here, before other loved ones left here, I had positive influences and good words spoken into my spirit, into my mind. And so I know that that's why I'm here today. So how dare I not acknowledge that just because my mom didn't have the perfect and most healthiest way of eating, that I not acknowledge the greatness and the goodness that she poured into me, with showing me how to treat her neighbors, showing me how to treat and how to love my siblings, even when they're acting up, you know, showing me that even if your family is broken, that you can be cordial and you can, you can still be respectful. So much I learned that I can take away, that I'm obligated to share, because I watched her share it, and I watched my grandmother do the same. And I watched my great grandmother do the same. See, so I got the whole 4 generational thing going on. I watched my grandfather and them do it, and uncles and aunties. And so I got to give back that credit, because they know, to make them to know that even though I'm on a different path than them, and yes, it does, it hurts my heart to see us all lose our loved ones back to back to back. So far, so good. I have not met not one person that has lost as many family members that I have since 2020, especially not including a mother and a child. I've heard, I think the highest number I've heard is maybe eight or nine, and that's only been by one person. And I speak to quite a bit of people, and I'm like, wow, so the number is still the highest at 25. Then I had to think about it. We're only really truly tested and tried with that we are called and chosen to do. So where somebody taking away a lot of money from you or scamming you or cheating you out of something like I have been done before by those that were close and near and dear to me that I put in a lot of work to. That's not something that will break me. That doesn't mean that I'm leaving the door open for it to happen again, neither. I've learned now. I've learned better. Um, but that doesn't really, I know I can make funds some type of way, or someone talking about me that don't know me. I stay pretty busy enough to where that's going to come and go. If I'm able to address it and it needs to be addressed, I'll address it. But if not, and I know you don't know any better, you only know what you heard, I can get over that. But I know that God knew that because of me from a little girl, always loving to see my people healthy, my family healthy. He knew, my adversary knew that through losing them, that would be the greatest test for me, to see if whether or not I would remain being motivated to still show love, to still speak positive things into my people. That's mine. And that just so happened to be the number one thing that I do not have power over. We only have some power and influence to be able to motivate one another when the person is open to it. If not, then yes, we become destroyed for the lack of knowledge or from not receiving it for whatever reason. Maybe because we're not in the same state. Maybe because I don't believe in the God that you say you believe in. Maybe because I look like another side of the family and you look like another side of the family. Maybe because I'm slim and you big. Whatever the situation is. And we all have to ask ourselves that, because I've had to, my sessions a lot of time, my health coaching sessions and ministry often turn into encouraging talks and chats, because I've noticed that it's become very stressful for my clients that have, and brothers and sisters that are the ones, the chosen ones in their families, that don't want to see the grandmothers and their parents and their aunts and uncles and children leave here from things that can really be helped if only we would really actually receive the help. And so, motivational times like this, especially the beginning of the week, I know it's necessary. So I pray that I'll always be able to have the strength and the mind and the spirit to be able to come before you all to do this whenever I can. Hey there, Sister Tyra. I pray your daughter is doing well. Did that workout okay for her? I do want to know if her professor allowed her to have some extended time to get her assignment in, so that would not be an issue. Do let me know, Sister Tyra. I really want to know. You have a beautiful, strong, vivacious daughter there, and my heart go out to her. As you all know, my daughter had a hard time. My daughters had a hard time when my oldest daughter, Najee, transitioned. And yes, I have one in college, one of the most prestigious colleges here in the world, and God just bless where I wouldn't have to be out a lot for her to go, because she was smart and articulate enough to get into it. The other, my youngest daughter, Naomi, it's been very challenging for her and for my son, Kenny, because they were very emotionally attached and with their sister. And so I know firsthand as a parent how challenging it is when you're raising young adults and they don't have all of that strength that we have been, that's been forced into us, because growing up in a different era where they social media and everything makes it seem like everything is supposed to be perfect and money is going to answer everything. And we that are at this next stage, we know better. And so, and they got to get there. And we had know what it is that a lot of us that's 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 babies, we know what it is to have to go through multiples and multiples of trauma during childhood and as adults, and broken relationships and the loss of jobs and disappointment after disappointment. And our young people today, they're just in the beginning stages of it. And so yes, that is one part of my ministries that's always been a passion, is to coach and teach our youth how to stay mindful of, and how to keep the heart strong in the midst of adversity. Being like I say, because I had it. I cannot say now, can I say that I felt like I had it every day, all the time? No, no, you have to have a prayer life. I'm a firm believer in that. And I know now, because religion and doctrines have really tainted the minds of a lot of our people, I know now that that's a challenge, because there's so much that's being revealed now. And we are coming up, the next generation is an era that they want you to show them, then tell them, where with my era of being born in the 70s, it is whatever mom and daddy say, period. It's whatever your Miss Brown, your neighbor, said, period. There's no questioning that. And if you questioning it and you're being sassy mouth, oh yeah, it's punishment time, or it's what you call get your tail beat time, you know. But this era is not raised in that. They're raised with a freedom and the world in the palm of their hands. Can you imagine? We had to wait for certain times to be able to watch TV on the weekend, on the Saturday, to get to watch Tom and Jerry. And it's just different. It's different. And now they got the whole world at their exposure. And we know it's challenging, because it's challenging for most of us, because we're thinking about, like, wow, if I had known this, depending on what you're pulling up into this world wide web, depending on what you're letting this spider, is a sermon that I heard taught and taught by our dear beloved sister Rhonda. I know she's probably not tuned in, but maybe some of my brothers and sisters, maybe they are tuned in. Excellent word on Sunday about being the spider, and she showed the clips of how when we're living in this world, and how the spider takes and wrap up the fly when it catches it in this little light web that it makes, and how it takes and it stings it. And I didn't know this part, even though I watched nature channels since I was a little girl. I was fascinated by it, and how it takes, when it finally wraps it up, it waits a bit to show all the other insects that it got it caught, and let it swarm, and then it injects the venom inside of the body and drains it dry, then come back to eat it. But when I looked at that, I'm like, wow, that's something. Out of all the years that I have attended services, congregations and churches, I've never seen someone really break down. And of course, she's a school teacher, so of course she's used to, accustomed to breaking down things for the youth. But just the silence that went across us when we actually had to think about everything that's on this web, and how you can get wrapped up and caught up in that is negative, or too much of that is a folly, of foolishness. I know I have to, and I'm dealing with a lot of serious things. Oh my goodness, comedy is the best thing. Oh yeah, I gotta give me a good laugh, and I lie not. Oh yeah, I get it in. I gotta find a balance, y'all. That's another one. It's not just prayers, but yeah, I'm waiting to see, because most of us that have been through a lot of hardship and a lot of trying things, or that has been raised in any type of dysfunction, I noticed that a lot of us have to find something to laugh about, because laughter is good for the heart. So if you don't mind or watch what it is that you take into that mind when we're on this worldwide web, that can so easily get us wrapped up into negative things until it starts to kill off your mind. It starts to damaging your way of thinking in a positive way, or in a way to where it makes you not care about anything, because there's so many people out here saying, giving information about what you should do with your family, what you should do with your spiritual life, what you should do about your job, how you should run your business, how you should treat your children, what you should eat, what you should drink. Wherewith, when I was coming up, we got that from our mothers, our fathers, our grandparents that were right there with us, our aunts and our uncles. You see what I'm saying? Your sister, your brother, your cousin. It was a village. We had a village. Fortunately, most of our children don't have that village until they get involved in sports, and then they get around all these things. But unfortunately, a lot of them they're caught up in the web too. And not everybody is taking in and getting caught by that. That's good, that gives life. Most of us are getting caught up in what's taken away from your family, what's taken away from life, or getting caught up, how can I make all this money, and then turn this into a ministry so it can make me seem like I'm better than the rest, or I'm really doing something great. When I was coming up, ministry and missionary work and all that, nobody around the world saw that. You had to be like a Billy Graham, or this big time. And now anybody can showcase themselves as doing anything. Anybody. And we there is no long record that this person has done right by their family. There's no good record that they really do love children. There's no record that they really are really good mates. There's no record of it at all. And we've been fed all of this falsehood, all of this hypocrisy. And we wonder why our people are confused and why the minds are so scrambled up. And this is what motivates me to come back before you and say, I see it, you all too. I hear it, I see it, I lived through it. And I'm telling you all not to give up and not to give in on this Motivational Monday. And I also do, because I know it is so wonderful to see your beautiful presence and to hear your words of wisdom. Thank you so much, Sister Kennicott. It's beautiful and a wonderful thing to hear and see you all, because I promise you, and I say it all the time. I know some people come before and they say, I couldn't do my business, I can't do this because of money. But I'm going to say that I would not be before wasting any time on the net if it had not been for you all. If I had not finally received the emails, personal emails and calls saying, where you at, Dr. Chef? We need to see you. We need to know you're well. And I have not forgotten that. That is embedded and imprinted in my mind, my body, and my whole soul. And so that also makes me currently feel obligated to get before this net, because it feels so unnatural to me, y'all. It still do. And that is a problem why you don't see me doing all these pop-ups and jumping into this, diving into it, because I'm so hands-on. I'm so used to being hands-on. And not only that, I also heard a wise word from someone the other day. He said that we have to know the difference between being a speaker and being the actual leader. And I was like, wow, sounds simple, but I never thought about it. And he said a leader can lead you into doing and living a healthy, wholesome life, and being helping you to be the best you could be, without breaking you, without taking advantage of you. But a speaker is one that just talk the talk. But when this platform shut down, they're a whole basket case themselves. Now I could say that I have felt that Only when I've lost loved ones, only when loved ones has transitioned. But once again, because I had people that actually showed me what it means to persevere, what it means to still stay positive and motivated even when trying times come. I don't know how just to speak this. I only know how to talk, to speak it and walk the walk, talk the talk that you walk. And this didn't start for me uh, a few years ago. This started for me from a child up. And so I know I'm obligated to have to do this. And so this is the reason why, this is where my strength comes from when I hear from you all, when I know that you are doing well, you are alive, you can recognize, your mind is thinking clear enough to where you can recognize and be able to receive a positive word, a positive encouragement on this Motivational Monday. So that's what encourages me to keep pressing forward. Hey there, Sister Lisa. It's good to see you. Oh, okay. Okay, I just wanted to know because I was like, I know that. I'm like, I know that title. I know that title. But I don't like putting anybody on the spot because I'm still part of that. I still have that little girl in me where I never liked to be put on the spot. I didn't. I know y'all think that I just been brave all my little life. Now, only when Big Sis had to kick in and had to fend for my siblings and young cousins, and if they gave me a task to do. But no, I've always been so shy. I even had one of my god brothers. He's much older than me. He told me, he said, "I noticed you don't sing. You don't sing. You know, we've been performing to on my congos because for some of you all that don't know, I play drums and congos and sing too as well, and the kind of bit of everything. But he he said because we were doing a fundraiser for our elders, for our homeless elders. And for the organization, the UPAO organization, which I am a health ambassador to this organization, has been here for over 35 years. And where we help all of the citizens wherever we can. And so one of the ways that we lift up funds is we host a karaoke, and we host different things for to honor different ones that are done a lot in the community with helping one another. And so anywho, he said, I noticed you won't sing. He said, you won't get up and sing. And he said, you have a beautiful voice. Why would you sing? I say, ooh, I say, because they made us do it so much when we was little. I said, I'm a shower singing, around the house singer now, or but it's a birthday, which by the way, happy born day to our kings and our queens and our babies for this month of April. And I'm gonna say it in advance because I pray my step up dad don't come up in here out the blue. You know, he's really country, and he will, what they say, bust me out. Now, you know, my birthday is on the 24th. Now, you know, I know you ain't too busy to call your daddy. And so he's one of those. Yes, he is a preacher and a pastor. So yeah, girl, yeah, I've had him in my life for the past 20 some years now. And he doesn't leave no corners uncut. And he knows that, yes, we love him dearly. So I have to make sure, because it's getting close to the end of this month, and one of my youngest siblings, their birthday is coming up as well. She still thinks that she is supposed to be spoiled. One minute she says she's like our mother, but then at the same time she wants us to do a whole lot of things for her. And I think she know who her name is. And yes, I am sending the bus out to Miss Jennifer. Yeah, pray for my sister, y'all. Okay, so got that out the way. I'm saying that to say that, yeah, so I don't like calling out everyone because I know how that is. That's all I'm stating, is that I know how that is. And I never liked it when I see others do it, because I'm like, my goodness, even if you do, people can fake their names, do whatever they want to do. You'll never get down to the bottom of it. We're over the internet, for goodness gracious. But to each his own. Was like I stated, we got enough things, serious things to be thinking about than to be worried about how we present ourselves. And you're tuning in, you thought enough of me and what I had to say to tune in to me. Because my goodness, if I tune in and then nobody watches and nobody wants to listen and nobody has nothing encouraging to say or nobody say thanks, then would we be so eager to come before this net? See, I like to give myself those type of reality checks because I see so much clowning that goes on this television. And then once again, I grew up where when you clown, wherever you clown and you show off that, that's where you're going to get your whooping at. You're going to get your chastisement at. That's what I grew up watching and seeing. So I was always the kid that sat back and just, and this for you, Ninja Kid, I was always the kid that just sit back and watch like, oh, we mama gonna get you. I was always the nieces. I'm like, oh boy, that boy gonna get in trouble. I would watch everything. I would sit back and I just, mhm. And I had a countdown going on in my head. Yeah, while they're sneaking into them cookies. Yeah, I just told them not to do it. But Auntie's coming down in a minute, and rest assured, if I had had a watch on at 3 years old, I could count down to when that belt is coming. And I realized that I carried that on over to adulthood where I'm a warn, I'm gonna send a message. But then I'm gonna step out the way. I'm gonna step out the way. Cause I don't need the whooping and the chastisement that you're gonna get from with for us that like the clown on this social media platform. I don't need that. Yeah, see how it rolls over. But if you're born in an era where this is all you had, oh my goodness, I get it. And where you didn't have parents, where you didn't have that village to chastise you properly, and there's a lot that talk about it, but you could tell, no discipline. They say they got discipline, but no, no, you don't, no, you don't, no, you don't, no, we don't. So I encourage us that whatever it is that you learn, that we just keep learning to do better, you all, to do better, to eat better, to compliment each other's more than what we do. It is always room for improvement, is what I see. That's what I see. And I had a cousin too. Thank you for all that you do. No, no problem. No, no, it's no more than my reasonable service, Sister Tyra. And I also want to address Sister. You know what? I'm glad that I'm seeing you all because you're making me think about again about Sister. She tuned in. That was going for the breast cancer. I did call, and I missed. And I guess she missed me, but I knew to give her a break. Um, I want to. Let me make sure. May have to take my own mental boost to make sure. Sister that was coming in that's offering the free. Okay, I see your text, Sister Tyra. Give me a moment, you all. I'm gonna comment on this without going into details. Is that okay, Sister Tyra? Because you have other mothers, and this is the end of the school year where crises take place, and I went through the same with my daughter. Um, yo, it's never just an option, especially during this time where you can't get extended, where there's not an extension for your children to be able to, especially at the end of the year, because they can't help and control when traumatizing things happen to them. So they tell you that in hopes that you're going to just throw up your hands and give up. But you can always go take it to the student council. You don't have to take that as the final task, as the final answer from a professor. That just comes, and then a lot of times they just don't want to take and take in the assignment late. But it's not like most of the students are calling in saying, "Oh, this is." It's not like a worldwide catastrophe has happened, God forbid. But it's not like that. So no, I would take it to the student dean and counsel and explain it to them. They have that loophole. Do not let them lie to you all the way sometimes to June to be able to get in certain subject matters. So I wouldn't take that as the final answer. I would go to a high up and in that area if that's not too stressful for her. If it's too stressful, as you want to take the leave, and that's good because as you know, the system is not made by children. No way, it's not. Unfortunately, it's not. And so we could chat again and have her to call in for another consultation. That will be on me because and if when she gets there to the school and she gets to a council, we could set it up and I'm willing to personally speak to them myself. That's what I'm willing to do for her. Um, yeah, yeah, because unfortunately they're not in favor of our melanated people. They think we're just supposed to just allow just everything. This is what I was talking about. It's motivation. We got to stay motivated to keep pressing forward because our young people, they when things happen to them, it's a different message that's sent out here now than what we had coming up. It's different. It is different. A lot of us now, we are taking care of our elders. We are trying to, or now that some of us, like myself and others, has made it through college, you made it through trainings, you made it through these ministries and different things, and now we're in a different position to help in different ways. Where with they're just now starting to experience what it is to try to persevere through, and a lot of times they can't see it through us now because they have us involved with the rat race of all of that they're not providing and helping our community with and our people with. And so trust me, I know the trick, but I am the voice of reckoning when it comes down to them playing mind games and they're abusing their position of leadership. I don't like that. That is when, now I'm not shy about that at all, none whatsoever. And I'm usually able to make some things happen by the grace of God because, yeah, it's just that they're used to being able to tell our children what they can and cannot do, and then they just leave it be. But let it be the others. Oh yeah, we're gonna go ahead and give you get take off a week and just bring the assignment in, you know, in a couple of days and you'll be fine or next week or just long as it's in by May the 30th. Okay? So that's what I have to say concerning that. Okay. So just let me know whatever you all decide to do, whatever is stress free for her. I'm on board. I just wanted to extend that offer to you. Okay. So yes, you all, as you see, this is the season, and this is my season is coming up. I know I'm not trying to rush over through April, but I've shared it before, even when I first started on. My mind, I don't know how not to grow. I don't know how to not reinvent or start or experience a rebirth in my mind, and I'm thankful for it. I'm so thankful for it. Some of us, yeah, we get on here. Or, we get mad and do pity parties and all this stuff to try to get people to, give and to do all this stuff. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's out of my nature. And I know it's out of some of you all. That's why some just refuse to get on these platforms at all, because not just because you don't want everybody into your business, but also because, it's a whole lot to deal with. And so, yeah, you do have to be made for this. As I was speaking to another family member of mine, they explained to me right before my family member had transitioned that another family member that I had not gotten a chance to speak to um, stated that they didn't need to be there in the hospital as they're watching their loved one transition. And I'm like, oh wow, that is not the time. So you have to mind your heart in times like that. Now, there have been no recent fallouts or anything, but because of how The other family member channeled their hurt and their pain and them always being seen as an outcast. They wanted someone else to feel that, even though that was not their time. And this is another reason why I do this, because I'm like, oh, my Father, somebody got to speak up. Somebody got to be the one that's willing to be unpopular, to tell the truth about what we need to do to keep ourselves and our minds in a right way of thinking. In a Because it's a fact that if you're always spewing hate, always spewing negativity, that's a sign that you have a bitter heart. That's a sign that you have a bitter heart and it needs to be worked upon. And since this is the year of reveal, the light that has been shined 2024, and you all know my theme. If you don't, I'm going to share it again. Uh, to be more healthy, be healthy more in 2024. And I mean that from the mind, body, and whole soul for those who have a soul. Because there is a difference between having spirit, which is energy, versus those who have a soul. And you'll know if you got a soul. You want to know how you know that your soul is not dead? It's because you have a will, a strong will, and a conscience within. Even when you sleep, God is speaking to you. Even when you sleep. And this is not coming from books. It's not even coming from your mama and your daddy. That there is a divine something that's pulling you no matter what you're going through. And it's not money. It's not coming before this internet. It's not people giving you hand claps. It is, if I'm broke, busted, and disgusted and can't be trusted, I'm still going to do it. Now, you have a lot of people that will holler that and will say that, and I've seen it and I've lived with it. They will say it. But my God, the moment they lose $100, they mad about it. The moment they see it, they cutting a good fit about it. No, this is when you know that your soul, your whole soul, is not into really truly loving and being there for our people. And that is the only spirit and the only souls that I like to operate with. That no matter what you are going through, and I know I'm not saying it's easy. So I'm not stating this to be judgmental, but I do encourage you. And I pray that I can motivate some of you all that desire to want to do more, to that desire and that knows that you've been placed here for a purpose, for a reason. This is not just what we call springtime, where it's just time to see the butterflies and the bees and see the sun come out. This is a time for us to grow. This is a spiritual shift here during this season. How would I know? Because I'm born in the season. I entered this world in this season. I'm just barely 30 days shy of it. And so I'm saying to you all that know that when you ask for that from this nature, from the nature of God, He provides that for you. Now let me explain this. Now I'm not going to tell you that it's an easy task because it's not. You're going to be tried from time to time to time, but it will be for the building and the making of you. And that I don't encourage people to try to force that because you know that you've been acting up. I don't advise people to go away to the military. I don't advise people to go take on hard task mastering jobs because that's not the same. You're getting a reward for that. That's not the same. You get pat on back for that. You get a star, and that's not to downplay anybody that's put their life. I got slews of family members, my grandfathers and all, that has gone to the military and they been in there for years, Navy SEALs and special ops. And I got young cousins and different ones of family members that's in right now and that's active. So I'm not in no shape or form or fashion downplaying because I'm in a position where I'm just praying and thankful when they're able to come back home safely and spend some time with the family. But I'm not going to deny that I see the change and what that does to the mindset of most of our people when they go in and out when you're trying to force discipline on yourself versus just asking God to really truly help you to discipline yourself to be able to get the greatness, to be able to have you to be able to birth and get that new experience or springing forth to be that positive reinforcement in this world today. It's different. One is programmed and one is artificial. One brings about mental distress and dysfunction. The other, when you get it from God And when you get it from nature, it's natural. It's natural. And we can feel that. I know the difference. I hear it all the time. You a breath of fresh air means, and I can't count, and I'm not bragging, but I can't count how many times I've been told that by my brothers and sisters, women and men, young and old. You're a breath of fresh air. You are a sunshine. But now I've gotten to a place where I understood, oh, okay, I get what they're saying. They're saying that I feel like I have life, that you really mean me well when I speak to you. I realize that you're not here to destroy me. You're here to help build me up, to help encourage me. We don't have enough encouragers, you all. We have what they call too many haters. We don't have anyone that's really truly building up our men and our women, especially our melanated men and women. We do not. And so that's why this is so overwhelming. I get it. I see it. This is why I've lived with it. This is the reason why this is so overwhelming when they finally get it from the sex, even though we have not met. Most of us have not met each other in person. This is the reason why it gets so overwhelming when they see hearts and they see the hand claps and it gets so addicting. Not because they're not getting it from home, but because the place of greed that we live from, the lack of love that we all feel in the atmosphere, the separation that we all have had to encounter, whether it be from your mother, your father, the adopter. My heart always go out to those who've been adopted, because I know there is an eternal war, tug of war, if they're not been blessed to be able to be adopted by a very, very loving family. And even then, when they get to age accountability, and a lot of them still feel that strong DNA connection, that spiritual connection, they still want to find their natural mother and father. And so I look at things like that. And that's what nature do. When you're born in these seasons, that's, when you're operating from your soul is when you're not comfortable with not seeing things in its natural order. See, it's just a popular thing to talk about now. And there's a way to make money now. So unfortunately, it's tainted. And that's what I'm seeing. And so that's where I come into play. That's where this baby comes into play, to make us to remember, to try to encourage and motivate us to remember to be natural. Be spiritual, but be natural. As we used to call it, be down to earth. And I get that a lot too. They're like, oh, you so down to earth. We thought that because how you dressed, that you was stuck up. You was too sophisticated. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. You was raised with that stinking thinking. I'm so sorry that you was raised to judge a cover by his book versus reading it. But I've gotten that a few times, just on site. But for the most part, I've gotten, my goodness, when you walk into a room, everything lights up. And I promise you, I've been shy about it all the way up until this day. But then when I had to think about the seasons and the times that we live in, I started to understand it from a deeper place. They're saying that we all see this darkness here. And some know all of the turmoil that I've been through. And they know that it has not been easy for me. And so to see a genuine smile or happiness, or to see someone like myself or others to still encourage, they're like, wow, that gives them hope. That makes it feel like, oh, you know what? Well, maybe life is not as bad as it seems, and it could be as bad, depending on where you are in it. But it makes them know, if you can make it, so can I. So can I. When I was at age of a ninja kid, yeah, it's hard, sister. When I was at the age of ninja kid, I was already on the lookout for anybody that could be possibly harming my siblings, because we still had so much going on. So many different people around. My family was a magnet for the neighborhood, was a magnet to people because they knew that they were serious about church. Can I say it like that? It was serious about it. Always trying to help feed somebody, always trying to help invite someone to come. And that's what we knew at that time. And a lot of them are still practicing that to this day. Me, I realized that you can give people different things to teach them in a way of life. But if you don't give them love, it means nothing. If you don't teach them how to treat one another, it means nothing. We often in this generation, what I've noticed too, is that we gloat about how long people stay married. We gloat about it and we say about where we come from, but have no clue of what he truly took. Meaning it took a lot. It took a lot of endurance, a lot of strength, a lot of, oh my God, I can't believe you treat me this way. In order for our elders and our grandparents and aunties and uncles to stay together for 50 and 60 years. We're not showing no real good signs of that. If you didn't see that growing up, and if you're not exuberating that when you first start off, it's going to be hella hard. Yep, I'm saying that. It's going to be hella hard to get it back because that's the foundation. How you start off is how you end up. That's not to say that all hope is gone. That's why we have the struggle that we have with our people eating to live. Which, by the way, this Motivation Monday, I still want to throw in there. You all better get this book. You better set your religious beliefs aside. Get this book. There's some golden nuggets in there, you all. How to Eat to Live, part 1, part 2. If you're eating meat, part 1. If you're not and you're vegetarian, you're vegan, part 2. There's some golden nuggets in there. Just like how when we watch these trashy commercials and we watch all these crazy movies that's not helping us, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. Okay, do the same with this short read. Some of y'all can download it, How to Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad, the original one. You have many that's coming around here saying that ain't nobody never did it before. It's a lie. They just want to be able to take the glory of those who have gone before us and only acknowledge them a little bit. No, they put in the footwork. Our elders put in the footwork, just like we are trying to do now for the next generation. But no, we haven't reinvented this wheel of how to eat to live and how to love one another and how to respect nature. We have not reinvented nothing. We are merely trying to find this artificial way. And yeah, I'm saying it, artificial way to truly connect, but to actually to try and convince people of what they've already laid the foundation of, what they've already done. They've been saying it all, and we're like hard-headed children. Yeah, like hard-headed children that want the glory and want the honor that our ancestors and that our elders are already laid before us without having to really truly put in the work. And I mean truly put in the work. Not just by coming on here and say, you know what, today I fed the homeless. Most of their work was done without nobody else watching except for those people that was right there. It was not used. Think about it. When the community really see you doing something, there's always someone that is well off there within the community or that can hear about you and that will help you build something. It doesn't necessarily have to come from on this. You know when you're doing something from nature and from the heart. I have to say that because I know we're getting ready to get back to a place to where this World Wide Web that's wheeled us in, that when they black this stuff out, you all, then that's when you're going to know where your divine nature is at. They're going to do it. I see it. I got texts that I speak to, people that are in these so-called high positions. They're going to block us out. They want to get us all hooked on Jezreel. So yes, get it in while you can. But the time is coming very soon. I have to put that out there. But I want to motivate you all to know that especially those who are that are born and raised in our time in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, you remember the time when this was not it. We go back into doing the work. You go back into writing. You go back to the original way. We go back to real love, where everybody had to work together. We have to do that no matter what country you live in. That so to me, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it will show us, those of us who are really truly made of got what it takes to stick with being truly down to earth and truly loving on one another. The trying times always tests the heart. Always. And if you can't make it through and you got to destroy your family now with money, with opportunity, with people listening to you, if you got to tear down and lie and cheat now with money, with opportunity, with you're not going to be ready. We, we ain't going to be ready when they shut down this attention getter. Not going to be ready. And so that's why I say I know it's my job to make sure that while we have this little time to do this, before they try us in that area, that it's my job to motivate you all and encourage you all to do it now. Do it now. Whatever it is that God has for you to do, that you believe, that you know that you're passionate about. You go to sleep and you're thinking about it. Okay, well, it's this daycare that's on the side. I know, and you know you're getting in extra funds to do certain things to help. Maybe they need Pampers. Maybe they need pull-ups. Maybe the children don't never see fruit. Start bringing basket of fruit. Just pass it out. Make little trinkets and bags for them. It's always something positive that we can be motivated to do. There's always somebody or some group or some family that's in need. That's what I like to encourage you all to think about today. And these are the things that get me through, because I know no matter how many loved ones that I lose, no matter how many times that I, have been like, oh my God, I could sit back and like, man, this is really giving me a major setback. I'm always able to, watch this, spring forward in my mind and in my heart with knowing that it's so much more work to be done. Always. And that's not something I'm thankful to God, and you should be too. If you're not on this way of thing where you are able to still have the mindset to be able to really truly help your loved ones, your family first, because that's your first obligation. We can't do it backwards. It'll backfire on you. I promise you it will. It'll backfire on you. I promise you it will. Family first, then you learn how to better work with people without thinking that money is what gains you loyalty. Take away that money and see what happens. I mean, from someone that really needs it. See what happens. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna leave that right there. I'm gonna leave that right there. Let me check into this chat and I say, hey there, Sister Sandra, shalom. Good to see you all. So I just wanted to make sure that I tuned before you all while I had the opportunity. Yes, I do have a set, 5/11. That is my mom's birthday. This makes the second time that I pulled up this phone and I was seeing my mother's one, and it is the 2022. That's 11/11. Oh my goodness. I'm in my right divine order. Those are divine numbers. And no, I don't get caught up in people tomorrow. This not on God. Whatever. You try to do anything in this world today and not calculate anything. It's a lot. It's a lot in numbers. I mean, why else do you need to give your birthday for anything in it and everything that's important? Why you got to sign that? Why does that matter? Why do you have a social security number, especially for those of us here in America? Why does those that are coming from different countries have to be given a number? Why do you have to count how much food you get for your family and make sure that you have enough to feed your family? Why do you need to count to be able to pay a bill or for a debt that you owe? Why does it matter whether you got 2 eyes or if you got 10 fingers? If numbers didn't matter. Oh, it's everywhere. It's more significant than what they taught us. It is not just to get a job. It is not just to count money. It is in everything. And those numbers represent life. It represents words. And that's the reason why I'm thankful that I'm able to speak a spoken word to you all on this motivational Monday. Hey, that's the Shirley. It's a blessing to see you. It's good to see you all. Yes, and that prayer, that's a prayer that's answered too. I'm asked God so many times to send me those with heart. And I know there'll be some that are tuned in just to see how I'm doing or just to carry back to someone else how I'm doing. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I got a lot of confidence in that when you've done this thing now, most of my life of helping my people, there's nothing else to prove outside of you continually just do the work. There's nothing else to prove. But those who struggle with matters of the heart, they got a lot to prove. And I do. I feel sorry for them. I really do. I feel sorry because this is not something that you can fake. This is not something that you can do and think that that's supposed to make us better than the next person. I tell you what, I'll use a prime example, and I'm not going to hold you on for long. I use a prime example. I had a sister come to me the other day, and she asked me the question, and she said, first she could tell that I was a little sad. I was sad, thinking about the mental condition of some of my loved ones, and I was. Sometimes it gets heavy on me, and I can't hide it, and I don't. I'm beyond trying to, because of you need to, even I as a human being have to experience these moments so that it doesn't appear that um um that I'm being passive, so passive about things, because I used to be very passive, because that is what I thought was strength at the time that could get me to the next level. So meaning I wasn't learning how to truly internalize what's happening in that moment that was causing for me to really self-examine myself so that I could think of a better way of thinking or handling or dealing with the issue versus just pushing away and not dealing with it at all. And then just watching the negative development of being bullied, or the negative development of being taken advantage of, because of you, if there's no reaction and people don't. And I did. It took me a good bit to hear. Even some of my siblings, they would, and they didn't mean no harm. They would tell me. They was like, um, it says this, we can't tell when anything is wrong with you. We can't tell. They would say that so much. And I had even received that from my mate, where he just trying me to try to see if they can get a reaction out of me, not understanding that I was just a real critical thinker. I'm trying to figure out, why are you acting this retarded? Lord forgive me, but I had to use that term. That's the term that we used back then. Why are you acting like a mental case at this right? They don't know. I'm thinking in my head, what just happened to you before you made it to me? And this is just how I was thinking. And I'm thinking like this since I was a child. What's making you act like something is wrong with you? Why are you treating me like your enemy when I just helped you a few minutes ago and you said thank you? Why are you trying to work my reserve nerve now? This is how I would be thinking. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And so, because the thought of being taken for granted and not being and being misunderstood was so heavy on my mind, it would I didn't realize it was immobilizing me. It was making me go still, meaning no reaction, no face or anything. I'm just sitting back, like, not realizing that when you're dealing with a reactionary person or a impulsive person, that antagonizes them to death. It just makes them more angrier. So I was forced to have to communicate. I was forced to have to say, no, I'm thinking about it. And I was forced to have to think about what I was going to say in order to avoid an argument, because I realized that your mind is not thinking like my mind. Your heart It's not where my heart is at. And I don't mean that in a I'm looking down on you. I mean that in the way that how can two walk together except they agree? Or can we agree to disagree? I like that term. Can we agree that you see things in this way and I see things in this natural way? Can we agree? Or can we agree to disagree? Well, I learned that most people can't. And this is what causes failed marriages because there's always somebody or family breakups. People stop business associates not able to work together because we don't care enough for each other to or have not learned how to care enough for each other to um, want to understand how to communicate to each other or to learn how to listen to each other from the heart because your hands is always busy doing the opposites. And I realize that this is a real problem. I realized this is a real problem, even with my years of counseling and coaching and being who I am, being made to be. I realized that this is a real problem, that this is not going to go anywhere. That some of us, you can do all the good that you want to do in the world, and there'll still be someone set there to be the opposite of you, to challenge you, to grow into being a stronger, better, more thought provoking, more spiritual, divine you. Growing up, rebirthing you. Always. If we didn't have it, I'm convinced that we would not learn how to appreciate friendship. We really would never know how to appreciate one another, like myself and others, and like some of you all that may have others that you have to speak life into. We really wouldn't know how to appreciate it. If you've grown up with somebody's always cussing, fussing, and joning, and always being negative, then you wouldn't know what a breath fresher area is to run into or to talk or sit by someone that just says something positive to you. Trust me, I've gone through it. I know what I'm talking about. 12 years, well, actually 20 years of encouraging a person that was one of the closest to me. And it took them 20 years. I met them at the age of 15, had to part from them at the age of 36. And it took me, and I'm wording like this on purpose because this is not about throwing anybody underneath the bus. It's about what I have to learn that I know some of you all may be able to like, share, please like, share, that may be able to help motivate, encourage others to just stay on working on you. Understand that everything is not everything that's negative that comes to you, because I had to learn it. Every negative experience that you are experiencing from another being, it's not necessarily there to destroy you. Sometimes nature allows certain things to happen to teach you. It's up to you if whether or not you're going to focus on it in such a negative way to where you're going to use that as a means to say, you know what, because they was mean to me, I'm going to be mean to everybody else too. No, that's a decision. That's a choice. You know what? Because they bullied me, I'm a bully about 10 other people too. Since everybody is afraid of the bully. Because, because they talk to me that kind of way, I'm going to find somebody that's weak and that's vulnerable, and I'm going to talk to them that kind of way too. That's a decision. You made a choice. Versus thinking about how actually taking out the time and internalize and say, wait a minute, how did this make me feel? Like, really? Does this feel good? Do I really want somebody to feel like this? That has done no harm to me. Because I know it's challenging when it's somebody that's done something to you. I know it is. I know it is. But we're dealing with choices and decisions that we all are faced with, that becomes a challenge when it's the opposite, when it has that negative feel to it. I like to encourage you all not to give in to that either. I promise you, when I finally had to realize that it didn't matter how much good that you could do for certain people, just because of their upbringing, just because of their mental makeup, that it's best to flip that in your mind, guard that heart, and take some deep breaths and go, you know what? I'm going to make a conscious decision to do just the opposite of what they did to me, because I know how much that hurt my heart. I know how much that, and I'm not saying that we're going to get it perfect. I haven't gotten it perfect. I say I'm at a 90-10, and that's a high. I only put the high number there because I'm forced to have to when I'm working with different ones, and some of you all. I'm forced to. I'm not even going to say that's coming natural, because I grew up where, even though there was a lot of spiritual people around me, I also grew up with the fighting crew too, where when you mess with me too much, you're going to get knocked out. I grew up saying that too. It was always somebody who's going to put you in your place. So balance, again, I saw the balance. You just kept on picnicking. As we used to call it, picnicking. We don't want to know what they call that now. Some people had this, they say, had to get dealt with. So I come from that too, where, okay, you see that I'm a nice person, and you see I'm trying to do good, and here it is, you want to try me to see how strong I am. Because I've had that too. I've had not many, which is a good thing. I've had two individuals in my life that told me that I pick on you because I know you can make it through anything. That basically, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about how I give you a setback, because I believe that if an atomic bomb hit, that you would find your way to green pastures and in a seat with your legs crossed, sipping on some tea. And I know that sounds like a compliment, doesn't it? But trust me, it wasn't a compliment. It was God allowing that spirit, that soulless spirit, to show me what their assignment was in my life. And that was to try me until I got back into the place of only trusting God. And say, oh, okay, if I can't get you here, then I'll wait till your mother pass. I'll wait till your daughter pass. Because I'm just so, because I've been tried, because I've been bullied, because it's been so hard for me. I just need to know what you're made of, what makes you, because I know what I had to battle with. I know I know I'm a coward. I know I'm a bully, but I want to know what makes you tick. So they'll try you. And that was the first time in my life that I really, truly had to sit back and had to think. You really have to make a conscious decision on purpose to do what you were born and created to do, no matter what. That you can do all the good that you can and have all the greatest intentions that your heart's desire. And yet and still, it will not be enough for some people. And that's when you ask God to send me to the right people. And I promise you, He will. It will. I'm experiencing that now. I'm finally able to say no. Yeah, I'm finally able to look and size up situation, because it's easy to do it for others. I'm gonna be honest. It's easy when you're on the outside and looking and seeing there's others like sitting back watching the movie. I don't know about y'all, but I'm them people that I'm one of those ones. I can watch an action movie or a thriller movie and be like, I know exactly what they finna do. And I haven't got a chance to do that in a long time, but at some point I'm gonna get a chance to watch one. I'm like, They be like, how did you know? I was like, because I'm watching the plot. But that's what happens. They get us in this movie mindset. And we'll be thinking that it only happens on the movies. Not thinking about how somebody's mind, somebody's heart thought to create that and put that on a film to mess with your mind, to change your perception, to tell you a vision, their vision. And you forget that they're playing, that whatever your mind takes in, it's a recorder. Before you know it, you're acting that thing out. How many times have some of you all been in a been downed or been in a position where someone made reference after they done something to you? They made reference to a movie that they seen. Yeah, they did you just like that movie. Or called you something based off of what they saw off of a movie. That's how you know their minds have been conditioned. That's how you know they're not operating in the natural, spiritual, soulful, divine place. They're operating from what the television has shown them. And I'm not saying that it's always that deep, but I mean when it's something that you know that can destroy you or set you off course. And they're acting out a scene in the movie on you. Because there is a spiritual connection there with that, what these eye gates see, what these ear tunnels hear. You are what you think. You are what you see. That becomes a lust, a desire, because it's what they call the entertaining. Look at the word tame. I think that the word tame really means tame. It came within you to tame you, to have you in the mindset to be subdued and to act like and to think that this is the way. How many women grew up watching soap operas when it was popular to watch it? The Young and the Restless. You hear that tune come on. I remember hearing it as a child, but nobody was never sitting down really watching it. Just the TV would be on sometimes. And I remember hearing it, and that's the song, the song coming on. And I'd be like, and I would see that Y, is it the Y and the R? And I was like, and then I see the image of these people that look nothing like us and be thinking, what is it that people are getting out of this? I want to get to the Nature Channel. But the few times I took a look at it, I saw, or Days of Our Lives. Look how they articulated those titles. All my children. Okay, they might be a little bit over your head, uneducated. If you're still watching, share. He'll have to Google that to figure. Yeah, the YouTube. Don't. I know Jamaica, you got that. I know Sister Jamaica, you got that. You're not gonna allow that to happen. But some of you all that's older know what I'm talking about. And so we think like that. We knew the characters. I can't think of not one. Victor Newman. That's all I know that name. I can't think of nobody else's name. And so I'm saying that to say, and that's probably because he was the most distinguished, tallest looking version of a male that I was wondering if he's Mexican or is he's white. Yeah. Okay. Back to the subject. Y'all know I have to go there. Y'all know I got to go there. Okay. Catherine, she said Kathleen Chancellor. Yep, I remember that. There y'all go. There y'all go. Stop it. The name alone, that's not a black name. Stop it, y'all. How y'all knowing all these folks' names? Oh, let me stop. But y'all know, my point is, y'all know that was not our lives. That was not the days of our lives. That is not, them children were not our children. Them were all our children. Come on, y'all. You know you weren't young and restless. We was young and we ready to have fun. We wanted to ride bikes. We wanted to skate. We wanted to go out and have time. We get called in before the lights went out. At least in my area, we couldn't even get off the porch. They called us the Amish black kids because our parents were so protective over us. And the boys could get out, but the girls, you better stay put because ain't nobody coming home with no package. That's how we were raised. And so I'm saying that to say that Search for Tomorrow. No, she didn't go with the Search for Tomorrow. Now that must have been a more newer age with Sister Kennedy. I gotta say, I can't remember no Search for Tomorrow. Just the part like why you, and that's that right there. Search for Tomorrow. Take you out of the moment. Like tomorrow will come. You ain't gotta search for it. It's coming. Just crazy stuff like that. As the world turns, oh man, they loaded me up. The edge of the night. Oh, I remember the heat of the night. And then even with that, the heat of the night. Look how crazy that was. Oh my God, all of this trauma and drama they were giving us to try to brainwash us into thinking that that was supposed to be our lives, y'all. For those who got caught up in it, or you had a work schedule that allowed you to just sit back and just take a moosah and you got caught up in that stuff. I would say, but I didn't have to watch it every day in order to see that they wasn't representing us. They weren't representing us. I think for the most part, what we said, be home before street lights are out. Yes, that part. As the world turned. Oh Lord, I remember that one too. As the world turned. As it turned, what? They still debating whether or not it's flat or whether it's round. So as the world turned, my God, look at those titles, y'all. Y'all know who was behind that. They were programming us then, knowing good and well we wasn't living in those type of homes. We didn't have those are CEOs. That was them showing you what the lives of the wealthy is mimicking what they do, the craziness that was going on then. And I see it where it has transferred over. I have lived with somebody told me, said, man, by the time I told my testimony and what I had to encounter these last couple of years alone, they said, you got a Tyler Perry production. They said, now you got a Tyler Perry movie on your hand, because nobody would never think that you went through all that while teaching health and wellness before this platform. I said, when I thought about it, I said, you know what? You're right. You're right. When I write this truth out, they're like, that's going to be one, excuse my French, one hell of a movie. And I am connected with people that can make it happen. So I'm speaking from experience, you all, and I know some of you all can too. My job is to encourage us not to get caught up, in everything that comes to so easily beset us on this Motivational Monday. I know it's hard. It can get real hard, but you are not alone. And I have to remind myself of the same thing. You are not alone. Whether you be single, whether you be married, whether you have children, whether you have none, you are not alone. That is the great trickster. They want us to think that our lives is just only supposed to be a movie or a soap opera. Look at the soap opera. What is even that term? Soap opera. Did anybody know what that means? What does that mean? The way they called it a soap opera? I never thought about it till now. Let's look that up. This is why I sent the link. I finally got a chance to send the link to Facebook, you all. So that means Instagram will get it soon. Because I need people to come more over here, because Facebook, now they're starting to censor me. I've said some things that they didn't like. And so I'm watching it. Yeah, they want to glitch every few seconds now, no matter where I'm at. And so I said, oh, okay, I see. They didn't like when I was commenting on certain what they're doing with the food, and they don't like my posts and what I'm posting. And that's all right. That's all right. Let me get in here. Let's look up that term soap opera. What does soap opera mean, y'all? See, y'all let me go into teaching. I love definition. It's just a term. What does soap opera mean? Soap opera mean? Is that the right term? Soap opera? Hold on. Oh.
Or soap for short, is typically a long-running radio or television serial, frequently characterized by melodrama, ensemble casts, and sentimentality.
Can y'all hear that?
Soap opera.
What does that mean? Go back into that. Soap opera. Why did they call it soap opera, y'all? And I'm only asking because this is what has taken on the minds. And now they got the melodrama. They call it melodrama, assembled cast, and sentimentality. A soap opera, daytime drama, or soap for short. Why did they call it a soap? It is typically a long-running radio or television series, frequently characterized by melodrama, assembled So look at that drama. Is that not what we all have had to encounter, was the drama? We don't even know how bad, just how much effect that this has truly had on our head, because they use it such an entertainment time. We saw it as just a time to kind of wish ourselves away from what we were doing in our own homes, in our home environments, not really realizing how the spirit and how the windows of the eyes were looking into this and engrafting this into our everyday lives, whether you realize it or not. And this really, for me, it was just the titles. It was just hearing the titles and just seeing the different faces. So now when you see somebody that look like them, you don't realize that because you've had that on your television all of this time, that you're making exceptions for who looks like Victor Newman. You're making exceptions for who look like, what's the lady chancellor name, and all these other people. We don't really realize it. We don't realize that even with the names, that a lot of us have introduced ourselves, and because there's power in the names, it's power in the voice. There's a vibration that draws and connect people to you just based off of saying names. See, they didn't teach us that. I think that's what the soap operas was there for, was to distract us from actually having to focus on reality. And so it's no surprise that years later, now the soap operas is them making sure that we have all these melodrama. It ain't nothing mellow about it now. All these drama shows with our faces, with our melanated people face, Basketball Wives, and all of this, dating, all of this nonsense. And then we wonder why we can't keep long marriages today. We wonder why our children are so wayward today. We wonder why, because even if you didn't act any of this out, it was still in the atmosphere. So it is our job to make sure that we tell our stories. That's how I'm viewing this. That's what I'm encouraging us to do, to tell our stories and and tell the realities of what we are really truly going through, from what and how to overcome that is set before us to give us setbacks. That's what I believe that the test is for us. And so, on that note, y'all ain't going. Housewives were home, so they were the target audience. Okay, that's a good point, Keenan Coda. Yes, I can see that. But then, do you see how that clearly made it easy then for the male to come home? For those who, when you say housewives, the male come home now, because they didn't sit back and watch all of that drama. Now this is where now you see, complaining. Yeah, I just come in and just get a little peace. Now, first thing you should do is throw the children on me. First thing I do is I'm hearing all this complaint. First thing I hear is why you ain't there, because you sit back and watch the days of the lives of everybody else and all my children and all these other soap operas that has taken their mind into another dimension that has nothing to do with the reality of what's going on in our lives. And this stuff is played out, and then it trickles over to the children. I can honestly say that was something that I never did when I was married. That's something I never did. I never did. They could come in with a hot meal, bath water, everything set in motion. And see, I'm in the place, I can be honest and say, I'm in the place that when you know that you've done all that you could do, and say, after you've done all that you can, Donnie McClurkin sing a song, after you've done all you can do, you just stand. That's where I'm at with that. But I'll be doggone if I let somebody take and break my spirit and making me know what the natural order of things is. Can't do it. Can't do it. It's not my fault that you got that unfortunately you may have been raised in a household where those type of drama stories took over your mother or your grandmother, your auntie, or whoever was raising you, and you thought you was going to bring that into my life. Not my fault. Because once again, this is what made me obligated to be as what we call strong and resilient, no matter what, no matter who comes, no matter who goes, no matter who lives, no matter who dies. It's because my mother didn't show me that. She had an order to, and daddy didn't have to be at home. He didn't have to be in the home at all. She just had an order about her. where everything was clockwork. Get that dinner, you come in, hey, do your chores, get the 4 o'clock meal. This is all the way from childhood all the way up until I graduated school. And I know that I was fortunate because I later found out that a lot of children wasn't experiencing that, especially not when there was a single family home. And when I went next door to where my auntie's uncle and right beside me, see, I grew up where all the family members was in the same neighborhood. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 4 aunties and uncles, ranging from your auntie and uncle to the great aunties and uncle. Everybody lived in the same neighborhood, and the same would happen when we go out of town for my grandmother. It would be her and her sisters and uncles and cousins. Everybody lived in the same neighborhood or on the same block or in front or in the back of each other. That's how I was raised. And so bottom line is that we had our own reality show, but everybody had an order. Everybody. And I'm not saying they were perfect, but it was easy to get back on track because there was a time and an order that was set in motion for us. And now today you don't see that. What you see is families coming before the internet, not even together to watch anything wholesome. Not at all. But everybody got their own web that they've been drawn into. I'm bringing it back full circle, you all. On the own things that they're looking into that's drawing them away from family and the connection. And then we think that we can run to other countries and other places around the world, and we think that we can that's going to teach us. No, we'll just be sitting back marveling. And if you ain't never had it, you never had it. But we'll be sitting back going, man, that's wow. That's interesting how they're doing that. Wow. I wish I saw that when I was coming up. Oh, well, okay, I'll try to learn that now. Now that the home is broken. Now that your children have to grow up seeing it, having experienced it in a way that you didn't have to. Now that you've damaged so much. And that alone can cause depression. And this is the reason why I do this. I speak to our children all the time. And I always apologize to them. Always. More so than ever. But I use my life as an example. When having failed marriage, I've used it as an example too. Now, this is what I can do. I can't tell you how to be married for 40, 50 years. And maybe this will help some of you all that may have not ever been married or that got married. And if you've experienced broken relationships or whatever, and you're still in that mode or you're looking, use yourself as an example so that you can learn from your own mistakes and from your own failures. And this is how I talk to them. I said, I may not can show you how to be married for 40, 50 years. Not yet. But I can surely tell you how to not get there. I can surely show you the signs of how it will not work. And then I send them to their auntie and their uncles that's doing it. And say, well, at least I had my hands in. Some of you all saw my, I'm sure she's getting off work because she's a school teacher too. My sister-in-law, she told in for Wellness Wednesday. And one that told me, said, yeah, cover the blouse. So, yeah, we cool like that. And she asked the question on Wellness Wednesday that we just had. You all can go back and watch it. And I saw there was the last comment. But when my brother was about to choose her, and I shared this before, he had all of these women that were coming at him at the church. And I watched some of them grow up. So I knew I was just a few years older than them. So I knew the personality and the characteristics of them. And some of them were, and we're friends to this day. And may I add, they all are married 20, 30 years later, doing very, very well for themselves. I'm very, very proud of them. That's another thing when I say mind your heart that I'm thankful for, that no matter what I've gone through, I'm still happy to see my other brothers and sisters make it through these type of challenges and these tests that we have. But their call on their life is not the same as mine. And some of their upbringing was not the same as mine. And so some of them also came from broken families, and some came from to death do part families. So it was a mixture of everything. But bottom line is that when they came to me and I told them, I said, and they was like, oh, which one do you think my brother, your brother, which one of us do you think that he would want to marry? And I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and I would tell them, I said, I don't. I'm thinking to myself, neither one of you. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm thinking to myself, I said, one, because you asked me, you're supposed to know that for yourself already. And two, um, I knew that he wanted to stay at home mom that would raise children like his sister. That's what I was doing because I married before him. Um, and he said, and he was avid about that. He was, willing to work and do whatever he had to do, because he didn't have that coming up. He didn't, he didn't see that enough coming up, and so that's what he wanted. And to make the long story short, we had gone to a youth. He was at a youth gathering, and I got a chance to peep in, and he said, "Well, what about this one right here?" And see how men get these privileges to pick, but they need help. And I said, I said, that's the one right there. That's her. Now, mind you, he's flooded. He most definitely had the 20 women there. We couldn't even work a summer job without. My brother was just so friendly and so cool like that, like my father was. And then, okay, like I am. Okay. Let's get that on out the way. It just spread in our family, like my mother was, to where there was always a crowd, a whole crowd. And I'm watching my friends, different ones giggling and laughing. I wonder, who is they giggling and laughing about? And oh, this he in that kitchen eating. I'm like, who? And we working the job. I was working at the airport then. I was like 19 at the time. I was working at CNA, and I did another job on the side. And so I'm going in, and I'm looking at him. I was like, who is this that got all these girls so giddy? And so so they said, oh, it's the new guy. It's the new guy. Mind you, I hadn't talked to my brother in a little bit. He got his car and he'd been doing his thing. And so I didn't know what new job he had started. Um, and we didn't have, we just had came into the phase of cell phones. And so I didn't have a cell phone at the time. So it's not like he can call me up and say, hey, sis, I got this new job. And so I'm sitting here wondering. And so I goes back there, and they tell me, and so some say, what is his name? Because I just want to know what got all y'all so giddy. And his name, can I say it on live stream? Can I bust him out? Yeah, because he not on. Yeah, he not on social media. That's because he still got it like that, y'all. But I'm gonna tell you how he got there though. He said, no, because I don't want to get into no trouble. 21 years later with his marriage. I said, that's the attitude to have, brother. If you don't want to experience what I had to deal with having a heart, with unfortunately being dealing with, and this I prayerfully is to help some of you all that's in relationships, because I know some of you all are experiencing it. And when you like and share that maybe somebody else is doing it, that's the number. I'm on a serious note. That's the number one thing that can destroy a marriage. Social media. Number one thing. And I know those of y'all that know me as soon as I know. I say no more. It feeds into the lust that's already inside of a man. It feeds into the ego. If they have ego, that's already in the man. And there's some women too, but most definitely for our men, because there's never been a time what I had to assess is there's never been a time where our Black men had gotten an opportunity to really feel like they could get this much attention, especially if they was never popular in the first place. That's why I've been able to size up. So they don't know what to do with all of that attention. They don't know what to do. Even though they got it at home, they do not know what to do with it. Unfortunately, the immature ones and the ones that really truly don't value relationship and marriage, and they think that this is just about being a power couple and money and how me looking bad, who look like they got the best wife, trophy wife. When they get caught up in that, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Don't believe the hype. It don't matter how they was raised. No matter what they doing, they get caught in, it will cost you your marriage. If you're not seeking wise counseling, because you think you know better than the counselor that has been married for 40, 50 years, that that sees what's going on in this fictitious world of social media, then you don't stand a chance. I've already got the stats. Even in the court system, it states that the increasement of divorce rate has risen since social media. It jumped to 30%, went from 50 to 80. And so if you're experiencing crises on top of that, which was already challenging before social media came about, and you're not mature enough to handle that properly either, you don't stand a chance. Whether you have both parties on this social media platform or not, all it takes is for one. All it takes is for one to get headstrong. It takes for one, and that one has to be one that's suffering with insecurities. They have to be suffering with being addicted to attention. They have to be suffering with other mental illnesses and a lot of ego. And that's not me pointing out one. I'm seeing it across the board. Y'all remember I counsel now, and I still counsel couples as well, just for the record. Because they've known me long enough to know that I'm not going to allow not even me going through what I've gone through to shake me and stop me from realizing what the problem and the issue is. I had to go through it. So I can even show me just how serious this thing is. That even with good good core values and what I'm telling you that I grew up seeing, that once you make this your God, once you make this web your God, oh my God, if it's your way of you making your living off of, you can hang it up. That means this come before your job, your work is just no different from somebody that's working a job that's very demanding, it's very stressful, or maybe they're in the overall. So there's certain jobs, as we all know, that you can have them and draw more people to you that can draw a wedge between your relationships. So if it was already happening before social media, how much more do you think that's happening now? That somebody could just in a second text you, oh, I just want you to know that you looked good today. I don't know if your wife told you today. Well, I don't know if your husband told you today, but man, he's a lucky man. You really have to have enough integrity and respect and love and honor in you to be able to know how to text back and say, yeah, I know. He told me yesterday. Yeah, thank you. I'm thankful every day. But if you treat this system like you do that hot dog, like you do the sweets every time when you want to fall off the regimen or feel like you got the can't help it. If you fall into the world of greed to the point to where now you got to put yourself in a position where you got to learn how to appreciate life all over again, then it will cost you your family. Oh yeah. What did I just tell you? I didn't grow up in that type of era. I didn't grow up with a computer in my face. I didn't start doing this ministry and this work when the internet came on. It's been way before 10 years. And I'm thankful every day because I don't think I would have the strength, the wisdom, knowledge, or anything. The stand withal. Can I make my own word, y'all? Y'all know I'm good for it. I'm Black. I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't know or grow and see better. And you got a lot of people that would say that, but their life don't say that. Their life don't say that. And it doesn't count for you to recognize when you made a world of a mess, y'all. We got to get out of that mentality too. That when you damage something so much to the point to where you can't be trusted. At this point, you got to take it as a lesson too. It's not good enough that after you've messed up everything that would have helped us to grow and to set a good example for your family, that you think that are sorry, that you think of, well, I repented. You know, good and well, you're still doing the same thing. Now, worse, you just figured out how to cover it up a little bit more. You just found another victim to take advantage of that will make you look like you something. Y'all, we got to get out of that place. You never know. This may not be for you. I'm going to say it again. May not be for you, but you all like and share. There, I promise you, is one out of every third couple that's dealing with this right now. That they're about to bust up their whole family over social media, over the lust of the eye, the lust of their flesh, and the pride of life. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And when they look back on it and think that just, after trying to do everything that they can do for everybody else, thinking that, well, because I'm so great on here, or because I look good, because somebody told me that I've been a blessing to them. Oh, I know. Trust me, I know that, I can do this and I can get by. I can start over and I can do it. That's not what I think. I think that that's a sign that I'm supposed to keep doing what God created me to do. So I put myself on the do not disturb list. Yes, I have, y'all. And it's good for us as women and men to do that. When you've gone through broken relationships and you know that for whatever reason, you have made it in falsehood with someone that you didn't know until you got them home. And then that's when they pull out all of their everything, meaning you met the counterfeit first. Or the person who thought that they, hey, at that time in that moment, they felt like they could, until they realized, wait a minute, after comparing themselves, or never do that either, comparing themselves with their mate, they allow jealousy, envy, strife to kick in. And my God, if you started it off with a lie, and you planned and you plotted it, knowing that you was destroying another family in order to try to get to another. Y'all, don't do it. I'm here to tell you as a witness, don't do it. Don't do it. You're asking for the greatest of the greatest life lesson chastisement to come upon you, no matter how much good you do before this platform. You're asking for it. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. We are held responsible for those of us who, I'm going to say it again. Y'all know I said it a lot, but I had to say it again because there's so many so-called reincarnated leaders that's on these platforms now that the only thing they've gone through is what they put themselves through. And I don't mean that to downplay, to say that life hasn't thrown them some type of test. I mean that from the standpoint of what stage that I am in life. Let me say it like that. Those of you all that's born in the 70s and older, you know what I'm talking about. And my God, for the school teachers that's tuning in, and the grandmas, and those of you all that's working in ministries, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not the same type of test. So you don't get the same type of outcome. How many of us, when we was doing our chores, could do like the children are doing now, where you put them on this live stream and you show the child cleaning up, and and then you could show on the phone, 100 some people. Oh, that's such a good child. I wish my child would wash the dishes and clean up. Oh, look at them helping out mommy. That's beautiful. Did any of us show of yes, me, please? Did any of you all get high praise for doing chores? Where you could see people around the world complimenting you, saying that she's so helpful, he's so helpful. Any of you all? Did any of y'all get sent the Cash App? Ninja Kid, you still there? Did your grandma put you on there showing all the chores and everything that you do when you help out? Of course he doesn't. No. You ain't even getting in there. You gotta do like I do. You gotta pay for this, get a platform, and to set up all this stuff. You gotta learn how to get tech savvy and all that, and just show a little bit here and there, and hope that somebody tune in or like what you're saying enough to tune in to you. So I saw this. Everybody said absolutely not. That's what I'm saying. Switch off a tree. Exactly. So this is the mentality that I've had to watch and that I've had to counsel. And then I just had to live, y'all. Can you imagine what I just shared with you all? What was my upbringing? Me having to try to reduce. And then, yeah, and I'm going to say it the way I need to say it. To reduce my mind to, let me just show this on social media. And that means that I'm the world's greatest power couple. That doesn't even register to me. And so God let me see, no, you had to go through this. You had to go through this so that you know how to better help, just like you did your brother when it was time to choose your sister in love, just like you had to do with your cousins, just like you had to do with your schoolmates, just like you had to encourage all the other brothers and sisters that's married in spite of. After all, I know how I made you. I knew the season in which your mother birthed you, that you would rebirth yourself. I knew it. That no matter how much of a Job effect that I allowed you to go through, that you would not curse me to my face and die. That if I took your daughter, I took your mama, I took your father, that if I took your husband, if I took everything, that you would still encourage me, my people. Now, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I didn't know that. And I know people get out here and make it sound pretty like, yes, I have a degree in theology and sociology and counseling and this is what we do. No, I cannot come before y'all with that nonsense. Absolutely not. I was ready to throw in the towel and say, flip this. I want to go do my music. I'm gonna go dance. I'm getting ready. Like I go to church when I feel like it. I'm finna get out the country, go to Belize somewhere, or some far off where in Africa, where they only know me by my forehead, and they know my people by my cheeks. And since I already wrap my hair anyway, that's what I want to do. Oh yeah, can I keep it 1,000,000? There go my term, yeah. And I know some of y'all feel the same way when you've gone through your test and your trial. I know you have. But something in you that God placed in you. Some of y'all say the universe. I don't get caught up in the word play because I know they designed the English language to confuse us. I'll let somebody else have fun with that. The mind, I get it. This is the only way you know what you were made of. The only way you know a fake flower from a real flower is when you touch it, when you pluck it, you pull it. They got something made out of suede now that even when you touch it, you think that's real and it's not. They spray a little scent on there and smell good. And you really think that it's real. And they got it planted like it's looking like real Pope, real everything. But it's fake. It's an illusion. And we can't buy into the illusion no more than we can in the soap opera, y'all. It's not our lives. It's not the days of our lives. As this world turns, and then but not all your children. Come on now. And we not young and restless no more. We more older and restless now. I rebuke that. We're more mature and wiser now. We're more mature and wiser now. All right. Chores, homework, good grades were expect. Absolutely. You already know. We used to call my mother the Joe Jackson of math. That woman would sit there, and when we got tired, and tell our phone First Lady Willie Ann Hill Stokes, when we got tired, and I told my mama before she transitioned, yeah, she knew. She would just sit back and like, yeah, but you got that work though, didn't you? We would have 100 math problems. We had to bring the sheet, and we couldn't figure out for the life of us why we got homework when we just did the same work at school. It sat us down, my mama sat us down, and we wasn't finna eat no dinner until we finished that homework. And she put that there, and the moment we got tired halfway through, we tired and hungry because the food wasn't no nutritional food up in the cafeteria. In the cafeteria, she wasn't sending us with lunch food at that time, but she made sure we had a wholesome meal every day. We gotta give my mother credit for that. To make sure we had a wholesome meal every day we came home. There was a dinner at the table, and sometimes a snack depending on how well we did. And she put that, and she's like, bring out that Texas leather belt. I don't know why she had a fascination with the Texas leather belt. Maybe because when she was little, her grandfather being a Navy SEAL, they traveled about in the military. And yeah, I'm giving you a little history. Traveled about, and they lived in Killeen, Texas, when she was younger. So she had a fascination with these Texas leather belts. So that's how I know it. And she said it right there. She wasn't quick to come at you, but she let us know this is what you're going to get if you don't finish that math problem. Now, don't let me tell you something about you tired. You don't know tired. Then we have to hear the whole long lecture about what all they did and how long they walked miles and how y'all know the stories. Some of y'all already told it to your own grandchildren and children. And if you ain't live on a little longer, eat healthy a little longer, you go wind up telling the stories. And I'm like, oh my God, this woman is, yeah, I was thinking about time we hit a certain age. I think, yeah, she's done lost her mind. You can't get no woman from not doing no math work. But it paid off. It paid off. Some things you do have to do. You have to place fear in us. When you're being lazy-minded, when we're being ungrateful, when we don't understand what it is that we're being taught and how it would help you later on in life, discipline. How it will truly help you. That is love. Now, I can't remember time, be honest, I can't remember me ever having to get a whooping from them because I had sense enough to know that thing hurt. I don't want to get hit with no belt. So it's better to just go ahead and finish my math problems. Now, my sister, on the other hand, she kind of want to try sometime. And I would think to myself then, yeah, he got a little screw loose in the head because there ain't no way I'm going to get hit because I had already seen roots at this point. Yeah, I'd already seen roots, and out of respect to my cousin that just passed, I'm not going to say the name. So when nobody finna be hitting me with no strap just to write down my timetables and my subtractions and my plus. And that's the mentality, you all, that we got to have when it comes down to our families, when it comes down to how you eat to live, to how you want to treat one another. You have to have that kind of discipline. Your mind you have to make up your mind your heart, and think about what's most important. What is the right thing to do? And if you were that child that had to get whipped, it don't allow yourself, but at some point you didn't just have to keep getting whipping every second, every minute of the hour. Come on now, you'll be dead. You still learn. You knew that, wait a minute, this man is not going to stop turning me up. So at some point I got to do this. And my heart, yes, goes out for the children that were abused. I'm not making reference to that because I know that some people that has happened to. So let me say that because I have to be mindful because I know there are a lot that have been abused. Let me say that. I do realize that. I have to think about that. And what I'm going to say is that I'm thankful that you made it through your test and your trial in that way. I'm really thankful that if you're tuned in and you tune in later, that that you made it through the process and that now you're willing to listen to something positive to help give back life to you during this time. That's what I'm going to say. Because I know a lot that has had to go through that because their parents were damaged and treated the same way. Or maybe the parents have been on substances and so much going on. I do understand that. So I want to make sure that I rightly divide that and say that. All right, y'all. I went over time. She said, Sister making the time back in. She said, yes, when you didn't have homework or claim to be bored, get the newspaper, that part, read and write, that part, do a report on stories, that part. My foster nana was strict. Oh boy, yeah, and even they not the same anymore. But yes, prime, yeah, prime example, prime example, prime example. Even the foster parents was different then. Even they made a lot of them made you have to be disciplined. Nah, my family was so big that none of the children ever had to really go to foster care. They just went to aunties and aunties. And say I grew up in that too era where yeah they went to the auntie this or auntie over there. And then you gonna get whipped into shape one way or the other. You were gonna learn one way or the other. But we value family no matter what the situation was. Is what I'm saying. Nobody gave up on nobody, and we simply don't see that today. We simply, when we come before this worldwide net, I've noticed that there is a lack of care when someone passes. That's the reason why you all don't see me do reports. I refuse to do reports on people that are suffering. I don't care if you are famous. That's what I mean by the sensitivity, and when money takes over and attention takes over, there's no sensitivity. These are still people, y'all. They're still people. Just because they found their niche, or as the term say, that they had to bend over to get high. How would you feel? That's one to say. How would you feel if God gave you a gift, or you, or your family passed down an ability to you, and then when you finally get in a position where somebody is taking you to a studio or taking you somewhere as a child, and then here it is, you've been propositioned from other folks that's telling you that you got to commit a heinous act just to do just to sing, just to dance, just to perform. Have you ever thought about it like that? I'm not. We ain't thinking about that because that's not what they're showing out here. So for ratings, we're going to act like these people are not human, or all because they make more money than us and they live in their life. They're about that life. You know, good and well, think about it. You know, good and well that know that at the time that most of the ones that's being badgered now got started, they were still young people. Y'all think about it. See, I think about it because I was on the young people's ministry and I mentored youth and I've been young. That just because you have a gift and a talent and an ability doesn't mean that another adult or somebody has a right to expose you in that way. For money, you know they didn't know the mental damage that would do later on in life. They're just thinking, I want attention, I want to express myself. I can assure you that. And so now that this stuff has come out, you all see the lost look that is on everybody's face. And the real culprits that's defiling these people into adulthood is getting by. And we're focusing on the victims now. We're mocking the victims. They were once victims too. Don't tell me that I can't say it. Don't tell me that I can't say it. I know what it is to be victimized. Let me put that out there. They were once victimized too. But because of the way we making these memes and jokes about it, we're not thinking about it. I'm going to say this and put it there. And of course, I'm not for no one that has abused children. Yeah, I think my crowd know that about me. So I don't think I have to explain that. But I'm going to say it just for the sake of somebody that may pop in, that may see, and maybe like, wait a minute, is she taking up for? No, I'm not. But did anybody take out the time to think about Sean Diddy's children, twins, that's about to go and graduate from college? Did anybody take out the time to think about them? Or are we so caught up in the fact that these people got money that we think that changes the embarrassment, that changes how people are looking at them? You know how they treat our people anyway. And trust me, I know money does not change that when your father is out there being sought out as being one that's sleeping with another man, or that's taking advantage of other people's children, or that has abused women. But come on now, the child didn't do that. That child didn't know they were being birthed into that. And here it is, they've been locked up for something that father is being accused of. Do y'all ever think about that? And somebody is mocking that. Come on. Let's think about it, y'all. So I like to encourage us to not just see one another as, once again, what this World Wide Web does. And it changes the perception of us into heartless beasts. To just only thinking that this is supposed to be another soap opera. When their children may be the ones that have to be over you, they may be the next senator since they got money. And you think that that's not going to affect our community? You better follow the children, man. Follow the next generation. You think that's not going to affect them, that people laughed at their father calamities? You think that's not going to have an emotional effect on those young girls? See, we don't think about that. And I know they train them. Well, it's not our fault. When that's their daddy. Well, some of us said, but they wealthy. Being wealthy means nothing. Where's the friends at now? Where is the wealthy attorneys that's blocking them from all of this? Well, you know, they say that oh boy, the basketball guru got him. Father's Day is coming up. Mother's Day is coming up. They lost their mother. See, I like to bring us back to the natural order of things, y'all. Mother's Day is coming up and their mother ain't been long gone, y'all. And y'all know I know what that feels like. I know some of you know what that feels like. Do you really think having money is going to make them not miss their mother? Well, yeah, because they got other mothers that got, what, because of their famous children? No, they still have a heart. They still, guess what? Famous people with money. And I know, just like preachers, passingly, they need more counseling than anybody else because of that type of lie. Because they can't get no real empathy. Nobody understanding. That's why they seek out people like me and others that can see beyond them being wealthy. That's why they're able to seek them out. Now, can I give my life to them? Because I dedicated to those of us who are not wealthy. But there are those that want to monopolize off of those wealthy people, but at the same time want to mock them in their pain and in their calamities. And that's not going to work. Come on, yeah, that's not going to turn out too good for us. So let's watch ourselves. I had to go there, and it just came to mind. You wouldn't want to be on that end. You don't know which one of your children may make you put you in a different status quo one day, and life happened, or they choose the wrong mate, and they wind up mocking you. You don't know, and then that's when it's going to hit home. You don't want to wait till then. You'll know then that your money cannot save you from heartache, cannot save you from pain. As Will Smith said, when you get to a place, I just saw a little quick little snippet of it. The scariest thing is when don't nobody tell you, so when you can buy anything that you want to buy. And I believe them because I met those people. I know some personally. They can get whatever they want in life, and nobody tells you that you can still feel lonely and like you want to end your life because there's no true love and happiness in it. So we are people just like going back to the soap operas that because it seems so far and so distant away from, we're entertained by that we can't grasp. We're entertained by this illusion, this television that's set to program us to take things for granted, or just to laugh and to mock, or to just have this fake emotional feeling to mess and mock with our feelings, and don't realize how this is affecting us in our everyday lives. Y'all, we got to do better. We all do. I told y'all what mine was comedy. I love laughing. I always have. It took me some years before I stopped falling off the chair laughing at stuff. Yes, it did. It took me some years. It took me till I was about 21. If anything goofy happened, I'm cracking up and saying, "Boy, you silly." Girl, I mean, I would crack up so hard to where I get abs. And I'm asking God to give that back to me so that way I ain't got to work out so hard. When you laugh so hard, y'all know them laughers that laugh so hard that your stomach hurt, get tight. And it would always shock everybody because, like I told y'all, I'll be just sitting back just quiet and people don't know what I'm thinking, and I'm just sitting back just spinning, and it just blurts out from the whole soul, and they make everybody else start laughing because I've been caught them off guard so much because I mean heard something. It's just the way our people think sometimes it just cracks me up. But I love hearing intelligent minds make jokes too because it's the things that we allow ourselves to get comfortable with that's so dysfunctional. But just the fact that somebody can actually not take it so seriously to the point to where they actually can make someone laugh, that is amazing to me. That is. It still is to this day. That we actually can live through that type of trauma that we often, that I've just shared with you. But somebody can be sitting up there putting a meme up of somebody that's, they don't even realize they contemplating taking their lives within every second and every minute of the hour, and that they got to place a phone call to somebody that don't know everybody, that won't, trying to find somebody they can trust, that won't leak it out in order to get paid some money for it. And yeah, I just got the call from R. Kelly. He said he want to kill himself right now. And then before you know it, go viral. And that person that's done gone viral making all this money off of somebody else's demise. Yeah, we have to do better. I'm done, y'all. We do need more switching nowadays. I'm grateful for every switch and every soap in the mouth. I know it. Yes. I still say that it worked. It worked. It worked on some of my family members. And as for my brother, you all, yes, I chose my sister-in-law that was there. And Charlotte, I know you're probably going to tune in later, so I will answer your question because I do need to give me a little workout in here. I know she's going to tune in. So she asked what would be, so I'm going to slip in a little bit of Wellness Wednesday. She asked what would be a natural substitute for coffee. And that makes the second question I've got today about this coffee. Blackstrap molasses will be a substitute that will help with iron. Let me, no, she's going to tune in because I know I'm not going to be able. Blackstrap molasses. This is one brand. And then they have the one that briars for a rabbit. And when it has in there that that all of us, the bone marrows need, in the digestive system that helps break down this. So it's a natural diuretic, if I hate using the term, natural detoxification, and at the same time restore minerals. It has 35 milligrams of sodium. It's only 11 grams of sugar according to what's in the whole entire bottle. So that's still very, very low, but it still has a bitter taste to it. Um, Let me see, includes 8 grams added sugar, 23. So far, so good. The people that I have had on blackstrap molasses, it's been over about 15, about close to 15 years now. I've had none of my diabetic people to stay because, as you know, sugar is not, even though you call it sugar, it's not the sugar. You also know by now it is the meat, the red meat and the clotting of the kidneys, and not consuming artificial and processed food that's causing diabetes. It has 109 milligrams of calcium and 3.2 of iron and potassium. All three of those together, you all help for the bone marrow. But at the same time, you can make it taste like coffee if you get you all natural, grind you up some all natural almonds or coconut milk. If you want that whole coffee creamer taste, you add maybe 2 tablespoons to 8 ounce of water and hot water. Stir it up because it's thick like honey. And then add, if you want the cream, natural cream, coconut milk or almond milk. You can home make that yourself and stir it in. And you got your all natural tasting coffee. It's real smooth. But those of you all that don't want the bitter taste and you're not allergic to raw honey, you can add maybe half a tablespoon, a tablespoon of raw honey or sugar in the raw, and tastes delicious. Trust me, I know. I take it anytime I feel like I'm low in my iron, or if I don't want to drink tea, and I've already taken my vitamins. I still take in do me 2 tablespoons of blackstrap molasses because I used to be anemic for years. So it's good for regulating and making sure I'm not cold in the wintertime or suffering with poor circulation from being a carrier of the sickle cell anemia trait. Okay, so this is excellent for that, for those who have sickle cell anemia. Highly recommend it. You can take it raw, 3 to 6 tablespoons raw throughout the day. And you all know I've made reports on this before. This is the best kept secret. No, I don't know of any other naturopaths that's focusing on this, but as of right now, and it may be because they can't make a lot of money off of it, like $5 to $6 in the average grocery store, and it is a 15-ounce flow, so it will last. It can last you for almost a month, depending on how often your body needs to take this in. But it's also a good way of getting that calcium, iron, and potassium in it. And if you have your own separate magnesium, and now you're talking about some strong bones, energy, and helping to digest food and give you a good, nice, smooth bowel movement as well. Blackstrap molasses will do it. Yeah, the unsuffered kind. Please note that unsuffered kind. All right. All right. So there you go, sis. Because I have to get out of here, y'all. I want to stay there a little longer than I want to. Thank you all so much. And again, those who want to donate, my cash app is Dr. Chef, FN Jordan. And those who want to send in, I put it into the chat. You go up into the chat. You want to send in donations to help with our foundation for our disabled autistic children and for our homeless elders. You can send checks. I put in a P.O. box, Dr. Felicia and Jordan or Hill. You can place in there. And you all remember to stay motivated. I know there was a lot. I hope I covered enough for you all to where I gave you enough to think about. And please like and share with anybody that's going through. You're feeling discouraged. You're feeling suicidal. You're feeling stressed out. Just know that you can make it because God created us to make it. 'Tis the season for us to go through a spring forward, not a setback. All right. And remember to be healthy more in 2024. Okay, got you all. Y'all take care of yourself. Love you so much.